Welcome everybody, we're joined here by Fernando. He has recently joined the 10K Club with the SellerPro Academy, so we can do a little interview, talk about his experience and some really incredible things that he's done, which is very different to a lot of other people. So first of all, thank you for joining us. Would it be okay if you give people a little bit of backstory about before you started FBA and why you maybe got into it in the first place?
Yeah, of course. Thank you for inviting me, Jonny. I've been in the e-commerce world for quite a few years. I started an online business. My first online business was in 2006, and I had that for 10 years. It was a completely different kettle of fish at the time. Mm-hmm. And this time around, that we decided to go back, with the possibility of starting to do food supplements and things like that. I really I loved the idea of having the thing that I hated the most about the online business. It was that you were a slave to the warehouse, 24 hours, you just could not switch off.
Yeah, so you had a warehouse and you had staff, exactly, and all that sort of stuff. Yeah,
we had staff, we had overheads, we had vans to deliver stuff. We had all this logistics in place, which is incredibly expensive. And when I had the idea of doing this, and I heard that some people who could actually go and work anywhere in the world and had all these things done for you, I thought this would be a dream come true. I have to really look into this. Mm-hmm. When I started looking into it, I started looking at possible courses to do, and it all seemed really overwhelming. Some of them didn't give you a lot of reassurance because they all come across as become a millionaire in X amount of months. Here's my Lamborghini.
Yep.
And it puts people off. And the thing that I liked about your course was the fact that you came across as somebody down to earth, that you knew what you were doing. And when I just didn't think twice. I said, let's do it. And it seemed easy, and it has been a bit of a roller coaster. I have to say that it is really, really important that people that are thinking about going into Amazon to try and do a course like this. Yep. Because you're going to save a lot of money in making stupid mistakes.
Oh, we know about that, Fernando. We know about that.
It is not the easiest platform to work with, but once everything is in place, it's phenomenal. They do they deal with the customers, they pick and pack your parcels, they do everything for you, and waking up in the morning, and seeing 4 or 5 orders, it's amazing. Who doesn't want that?
So how was it when you made that first real sale? Let's get friends and family out of the way. But what happens when you had that first real sale? How did that feel?
It's absolutely amazing because, like I say, of course, we spend months and months working and creating the brand and preparing all these things in the background, but you don't really realize how much work you've done until you actually start seeing real customers asking about your product and even talking about it on social media and sort of buying the product and it's wow, this is it's real,
It's real, yeah. And the thing I like about what you've done is, can we talk about the product?
Of course, you can, yeah.
Fantastic. So quite often people don't want to talk about the products, but for you've done something that I certainly would say is more risky, and I think you would agree, is that you've gone into the supplements niche. So whenever something's being edible, then the bar is being raised so much higher than than everyone else if you're buying a microphone or whatever it may be. So talk us through why you wanted to go into such a hard product, basically.
The thing is, it's been an idea in the back of my mind for quite a few years. I've been vegan for over 6 years now. Always struggle to find things that I really liked or taste nice, and always thinking, right, I've come into some money. What is my ideal protein?
Yeah.
What is if money was no object, what would I actually put into a milkshake?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's how it started. Having said this, it wasn't as easy as that. Because once you choose the ingredients, then it's going to taste nice.
Yeah.
Because as vegans, we used to taste very often. We think that healthy things don't taste nice. Mm-hmm. If you really want to hit the big audience, you have to make sure that the flavor is right, and it takes time and testing and a lot of tests and lab results to make sure that it's clean from cross contamination, all the different things that you need to make sure that it's got exactly what you want. And then it's all the branding, all the creation of, you've helped me massively. I mean, that's why I've recommended you so much. I mean, I literally talked last night to a friend of mine who is already selling in Amazon. Oh, will this be of any use to me? I said, yeah, of course. Of course, even if you're already selling, you still have to try this.
Yeah.
Because there's no way.
And that's what I think that's really what excited me about your brand, is when you came to us with an idea of what you wanted. It was pretty much nearly there. It just wasn't manufactured and all that sort of stuff. But I'm vegetarian. I eat vegan as much as I possibly can. And I've tried different pea proteins, different vegan supplements, and all of them just taste like glass, or they hurt your throat or whatever. And I think the things that you've done really well is, I've got one of the packets, so I'll get it on the camera in a second. I'll go grab it. Is that you've really focused on who your customer is, and because you are the customer, right? You are the person that's looking for this sort of supplement. And this is something that I wish more people did, is when they're thinking about selling a product, is be the customer and really understand what a customer wants, right? And I'm sure that's helped you massively.
That's one of the things one of the lessons that I recall from the course that is so important, and the customer journey. I mean, I literally had like somebody designing the customer value journey, which is like, a few pages long, but it's got all these graphs and everything, because we really want to understand what the customer is. And I want to take them through the whole process, and hopefully keep them like as part of the VeganTek family, And like I say, it's been an eye opener. Like I say, things have moved on and changed massively from 20 years ago. Today, it's not as easy as just putting a website together, a shopping basket, and off you go. You have to do a lot more things. And Amazon is a great platform. It's got a great visibility. What is the percentage now, like, of online sales, in Amazon?
I mean, who knows what it is this year, but probably a lot higher. But I know, like, last year, the figures were probably like 18 to 20% of sales go through online, or like retail goes through online. But I think, the results that will come from 2020 is going to be, I mean, a lot more. I don't know what it will be, but it'll be interesting to see the figures a lot, I can imagine.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, to get started, I only had in mind, like, I was going to do, I've thought to myself, right, I've got a budget of 20,000. Let's see if we can actually do this together. But when you start looking at everything, and if you want to do this properly, you really can't really limit yourself to a budget, because it's virtually impossible to stick to it. If you really want to do this properly, and you start, like, we've got now another 2 content writers working for us, and we've got like another 3 ambassadors working this week. So, the number is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. But then I get amazing emails, like, from people, and like, talking about the brand, and you're thinking, wow, I've been working on this, and I didn't realize, people are so excited and giddy about it,
Yeah, you get that satisfaction. And where do you see this going for you? Because I know you've got some goals for the brand, and eventually you really want to take it off Amazon and have this whole big, really a big vegan brand, basically VeganTek being the overarching brand, selling lots of different things. But
yes.
How do you see that How do you see that going? Why did you then decide to use Amazon at the beginning, or rather than going straight for?
Amazon is a great, it's a great, like, platform. To give you an example, I'm selling in the Netherlands, I'm selling in Germany, in Spain, in Italy, in France. I mean, who gets that sort of exposure, with very little input? Because I haven't put any single advert in those countries.
Yeah, that's true. That's very, very true. Yeah.
And in the last week, I've had sales in every single country consistently every day. So no business owner can be any happier than that.
That's very hard. I ship my book not through Amazon, and setting up that process. I know we spoke about this a while ago, of saying which ones you can send to, which ones you can't send to, the postage, the packaging, who's going to fulfill it, what happens with customs. It's very, very complicated. It's a horrible thing to do. Whereas Amazon, it is literally, it's a click of maybe 1 or 2 buttons to allow that to happen.
Yes.
And maybe have some things translated. So So I think, yeah, that's a really good way for if there's people out there that are looking to start more substantial, big brands have, a larger amount to start off with and have, a big vision of where you want to go, then Amazon's a really good place to get those initial sales and that brand awareness, right? From a brand that didn't exist.
Exactly.
Right?
No, exactly. It's amazing, the whole concept. I mean, honestly, anybody, even like smaller or bigger business, it doesn't matter the size, they've got to have some kind of like space there. Whether they want to leave it there permanently or move for like half of it or all of it later on, the business will grow and it will demand like more of it. Obviously, if you're doing the parcels, you're going to save some money, but you've got the hassle of having to prepare all those things. It doesn't understand of anniversaries, holidays, Christmas, and I'm telling you from experience, it's like I remember like, being in a Christmas dinner and I've had to, there was an issue with the warehouse and I had to run, it's like wow. the business cannot stop. And especially if you're working internationally, then, whenever, even when you're sleeping, there'll be issues going on. So like I say, for somebody to start off like this and grow is probably like the way to go. Some people might rather not have the hassle and just leave it completely to Amazon because it will really run on automatic pilot. The whole thing that's the beauty of it. I think for VeganTek, I like to think that in the next year or so we're gonna be probably like doing the parcels ourselves. I think it's gonna be I've literally been working on a new meal replacement with Homeplate. I'm gonna launch in a few months down the line with like different flavors. It's going to be more accessible to everybody's pocket. I think the Superfoods blend has been an amazing exercise. It's probably like, the best of the best. But I think the market in itself is demanding more like sort of like meal replacements, like post-workout, like shakes that are still keeping in line with the philosophy of VeganTek, which is going to be all natural, without any chemicals and so on, but perhaps with less ingredients to make it a little bit, easier to manufacture.
Yeah, because cheaper as well, I guess. And the more accessible. Because that's the things that we were working on last week, wasn't it? It was about your images, and and this is something that you would do in any product, right? You would look at competitors, and we were looking at the competitors for you, which are big brands. Like these aren't small little fish. Some of these are big companies, and they have maybe the cheapest price. But when you consider what you guys have done in terms of the ingredients and the different blends you've got, again, it's not my forte, all the antioxidants and all that sort of stuff. When you stack it up against them, and I think hopefully that image will be on Amazon this week or at some point.
Yes.
Is when you stack it up next to it, it's like you've created something so much better as an actual product. The brand works, and it will identify with people that want that sort of product. And it also shows that the other ones out there really are quite lacking in their quality, right? And what they're actually offering for the price. So I'm like massively positive about the future for you guys, and I'm really happy to be a part of it. And I use the product as well, so that's even better. That's great.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's been an honor. And like I say, we'll keep doing things together. I'm sure we will.
Yeah.
I can't wait to have my 100K award.
Oh, it's going to come. It's going to come. Yeah, don't worry about that. So what advice would you give to someone that is looking to start selling on Amazon? They may be looking at the academy thinking, what training course should I go for, or should I go for training at all? What's the advice that you'd give that person that's on the edge?
My advice is not to even think about it. Anybody has got £1,000 to spare, even if it's with a credit card, they can fraction it, whatever. I have made that money back multiplied.
Nice.
And I have saved a lot of money by not making the same mistakes that you guys made at the beginning. And you've got everything in the course. So literally, it's a step-by-step guide to go from 0 to 100. In as little time as possible. Because obviously time is money. Obviously, anybody, depending on what market they're going into and what product they're going to be launching, they're going to need to put a budget to a side. I would always put a little bit more than what they planned originally.
Yep.
If they're already starting, like you've said many times before, if they're starting with money issues to begin with or a very, very limited budget, they might find that they don't have enough. So it's best to wait until you've got everything you need. Because it's I realized like how important it is like the attention to detail, to the images, the listing, the product itself, the testing. We for example, as you know, we've got like shakers. I must have bought about 20 different shakers in the market.
Yeah.
And tried them and dropped them and tried everything possible. Because you get that wrong, and no matter how much money you put into it,
Yeah.
the reviews will actually
you need to take your time, and I think a lot of times people want to rush and they want to get that first sale as quick as possible. But I think it's really important, again, for anyone watching that's at that stage, is take your time and check those things. Stress test products or the samples. Make sure that you do double check the packaging. I've made mistakes on packaging before, and I'm like, why didn't I check it properly? And it's because I rushed. And
Yes.
I think that's really important for every single stage. Images, packaging, everything like that, you always double check and triple check, because in the heat of the moment and the excitement, you sometimes forget something, or you don't realize that there's a spelling mistake, and those things matter. And you look at your packaging. I can go and get it now. Let me actually go get it, and I'll show people. 1 second.
Okay.
So here we go. I'm not sure if people will be able to see this, but the packaging's there, and it looks good, right? It looks great. It looks proper good. And when I look at this in my cupboard, it looks better than the others. And I think you can sense the intention that's gone into a product based on the packaging. You can tell that there's care gone into it, and it doesn't matter what product it is, if it's a supplement or if it's an iPhone stand. People can tell if there's been care gone into a product in the packaging. So again, anyone watching this, put care into it. Care about your customers. Like Fernando's done, and it may be more time up front, but it means that you'll have better results going forward.
Absolutely. Because those things will reflect on the overall experience. And the one thing that's been a very, very positive learning from me from the course, has been to realize how that presentation it makes a huge difference. Remember that when I first got the shakers out, I was in a rush, and I didn't really get a nice box for them, and then I regretted it, because I knew how important it was, but because I had so much stuff going on, I thought, but listen, I've now got an amazing box. Everybody's super happy with it. So yeah, it's been like a learning curve. But again, if you cut corners, that's what happens, So it's definitely a must. And at the end of the day, the whole experience of opening the parcel, for example, Amazon, is trying to do things quickly. They've got some of the drivers might be playing football with their parcels. You have to make sure that, the protection, the box, wherever your product is, is you need to test it, drop it. You need to really make sure that it's actually protecting the product, because that's really when a customer opens that Amazon parcel and suddenly it's broken, it's a bad experience.
Yeah.
You need to try and save all these things, and we don't realize how important it is until these things happen. I've seen some of our colleagues have got listings with images of their broken product. That's disaster. And very often, if you already spend all your money to get stock, and all that stock is already in the warehouse with a faulty or missing or a bad packaging, that could really mean the end of your journey, or costing you money of having getting it out, and doing it. So it's best to, like I say, not skip any of the lessons.
Yeah, definitely.
And again, I've even, I went down to with a van to deliver stuff, to have a look at the whole thing. It's impressive how many rules and how many things are to be able to get something to be sent into the warehouse, because there's so many security rules and regulations, but it's been a massive eye opener. I think like I say, it's definitely something that everybody should really look into, because you will never be able to get in such a short time that revenue and that visibility and exposure to new customers, which potentially are going to really end up coming. If you have a website or whatever, they'll come to you again because they're pleased with the product. But that first step, has been an amazing journey.
Amazing. I can't wait to see the progress. If any people have any questions for Fernando, please ping them down in the comments. Thank you for joining us. I do really appreciate your time,
Thank you.
as always. Okay, two things if you're watching this. First of all, if you want to learn a bit more about Amazon FBA, I've currently got 45-minute training. It's completely free. Go and check that out. We talk about product research. We talk about images like we've spoken about today and the importance of them. And we talk about some PPC stuff as well. But also, if you want to join the SellerPro Academy, you can apply. Again, there's a link down below. We'll jump on a call and see if it's a good fit. So yeah, thank you again, Fernando. Really appreciate it. And yeah, we'll
thank you, Jonny.
We'll see you again at the next 100K.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Rising.
Speak soon.
Take care. Bye bye.